Hey everybody, I wanted to let you know right after I finish the podcast today, I'm going to a rodeo. A gay rodeo. Now, why do you think I brought this up? Why did I tell you that? Because first, I wanted to see if you got a reaction, a picture in your head, a concept of who I am. Did it reinforce who you think I am, or did it change who you think I am when I said I was going to a rodeo? Did you think to yourself, well, yes, Kyle lives in Oklahoma. He probably goes to rodeos, and maybe he's this type of person. And then, when I said it was a gay rodeo, did that change your perception of me? Did it change that picture that you just had? Did it make you think that you didn't know me at all? Or did you think that was what you already knew about me? Did the idea of going to a rodeo change when you heard it was a gay rodeo, one way or the other? And honestly, I'm not trying to tell you which way you should think, but I do want you to understand if you had a reaction to that, what that means for you personally. You know what they say, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't make assumptions about other people. You know what assumptions make an ass of you and me. You know all of that. But did you just do that? Let's talk about it on the podcast today. It's Saturday. I'm in the office. You know what that means. The Saturday Morning Hustle Podcast. No hyperbolic hustle culture, just brutally honest. Straightforward business advice and motivation every Saturday for entrepreneurs, business owners, and anyone pursuing success. You can't just work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and hope to become the next big thing. You gotta work smart, work hard, and put in that extra effort while everyone else is sleeping, playing games, or just wasting time. Maximize bonus time to get more work done. This podcast is for anyone willing to come in early, stay late, and work on the weekends to be great. Now, did you have a concept in your head about who I am from listening to this podcast, or someone that I know in real life, or from my social media posts, etc.? When I said I was going to the rodeo, did that confirm that you knew who I was or who you thought I was based on where I live or any other information that you know about me? And then when I said I was going to the gay rodeo, did it change or reinforce the concept you already had about me, the host of your favorite Saturday morning podcast? Either way, it's on you. And either way, hopefully I've given you a chance to just take a pause. I'm not judging you. I'm not telling you we're wrong for this. Actually, I'm telling you you were probably quite human for having a reaction, for having a thought process, for thinking to yourself, oh yeah, that makes sense. He's going to do that today. Or no, that doesn't make sense. He's going to do that today. Or I wasn't expecting that. It's okay for you to have that reaction. Now, the question is, once you've heard, I like to go to rodeos, which I do. I grew up in Oklahoma. My family had a rodeo history. My mother was a barrel racer. I am fully been to many rodeos in my life. It's great fun and I enjoy them. But did that reinforce your opinion of me, who I am? And did it change your opinion of me or who I am when I tell you it's a gay rodeo I'm going to? Because to me, there is no difference. Rodeo is rodeo. It's people, it's humans, it's horses, it's cattle, there's dirt. There's all the same elements that go into any rodeo. It's also at the gay rodeo. Difference being the cowboys, cowgirls, and the people participating, and that's okay too. People are people. No big deal. I'm going to enjoy the rodeo that our friend happens to be participating in today. For me, it's no big deal. It's just a thing you do. But I do understand some people might take that as a political statement. Some people might take that as to being part of something else or something bigger or something different. Some people might make assumptions about you and me if they think you go to rodeos on a regular basis, if they think you go to the gay rodeo on a regular basis, if they think you only do things that are stereotypical of one type of person, or that you only do things that are stereotypical of another type of person. The truth is, most people, most human beings are much closer to the center much more open to left and right, much more open to red dirt and city, much more open to small town and big city living. Trying to think of the exact word. Urban was the word I was looking for there, right? Most people like a little bit of country music and a little bit of rock and roll and a little bit of hip hop and a little bit of classical and a little bit of bluegrass and a little bit of yodeling, right? What I'm saying is, do not think of people, human beings, as one-dimensional. In fact, when you add more and more dimensions and more layers and more possibilities on everyone you meet, whether you meet them in real life, you run across them on social media, you hear them on a podcast, you see them on television, however you come into contact with another person, if you will assume there's a lot more to them than you are seeing and that you know, if you'll assume that you have a lot more in common with them than you have different, and if you assume there are things you disagree on, don't see the same, or maybe would enjoy together, but that's okay. That variety is the spice of life, as they say it. It's the things that make people interesting. If we were all the same, it would be extremely boring. And I wouldn't need to come onto the Saturday Morning Hustle podcast every Saturday and talk to you about what you can do with your life, the things that you can pursue, the things that you can engage in, how you can make your experience, your pursuit of success, your attempt at being the best you can be unique to you by learning lessons from others, best practices, tips, examples, etc., and then applying it to your life. If we were all the same, you would not need any of that advice. We would all do the same stuff. But my God, how boring would that be? So, instead of assuming you know everything about someone because of how they look, of what they wear, of a statement they make, of an activity, even who they voted for, or where they live, or some other action in their life outside of it being a heinous action, right? When people do bad things and hurt other people, that's always wrong. But if people are just going about their life in ways that are common and similar to you, you have similarities and you should embrace that. If people also have things in their life and background and experiences and things that they engage in that are different than you, also embrace that. Look at that as an opportunity to expand yourself, to learn something new, to find something interesting and different. If we were all the same, it would be boring. So the only way to engage each other in a non-boring way is to allow for, to engage, to be excited by the differences. If you're willing to meet them in the middle, if you're willing to come halfway, if you're willing to say, I like all these things about you, I have all these things in common with you, we have all these same ideas about life, and you have some of these differences, and I have some of these differences than you, and that's okay, and let's learn from each other, let's benefit from each other, then that positive outlook, that open-mindedness, that ability to move yourself in a different, better, more interesting, more open, more unique way also allows other people to see you as the open-minded, easygoing, positive, collaborative person that you want to be in order to be truly successful. Trust me, this is how you become successful in life, is building a huge network of people, a huge collaboration opportunity everywhere you go with everyone you meet, because you are open-minded, because you understand that you're more common than you have different, and the things that you have different and have differences are actually great. They bring new things, new perspectives that allow you to grow and move in different ways, that allows you opportunities you probably would have been cut off from otherwise. I might meet someone interesting and new today who I do business with in the future when I go to the rodeo, the gay rodeo. I'm at the rodeo, but who will I meet? I don't know. And I'm open to the process. I'm open to the idea. I'm open to having this conversation with you about it. So I've allowed myself to be a conduit for you, an example for you, a opportunity for you to ask a question, to challenge yourself, to check yourself. I'm not here to check you. I'm not here to tell you you were wrong if you made an assumption when you heard I was going to the rodeo, or if you made an assumption when you heard I was going to the gay rodeo. But give yourself a moment to reflect and to pause and ask yourself, are you being the person you want to meet in the world? Are you being the change you want to see in the world? Are you following the golden rule? Are you treating others as you would want them to treat you? You don't want anyone to judge you. You don't want people to make assumptions about you. You don't want people to close themselves off to you without actually knowing you based on some very simple simplification of who you are. Coming down to one or two issues or one or two things you engage in or one or two things that they expected you to do or didn't expect you to do. Instead, you want people to be open to who you are as a person, the complex person, the layers, the depth, and you want them to meet you in the middle. You want them to collaborate with you. You want them to not judge you and block you and be closed off to you because of anything in your life, so you can't do that to other people. The more people you can get along with, the more collaboration you can create, the larger network, the more relationships. It could be superficial. It could be just continue to follow them on Twitter. Maybe you become Facebook friends. Maybe you meet in real life. Maybe you listen to their podcast and you want to support them in some way. Maybe you become friends, become business associates, be someone that you could refer to them, business, personal, or otherwise. Maybe it's someone you can ask a question of, or you can provide an answer for someone else that's helpful to them with no real benefit to you. That's perfectly good. That is great. That is wonderful. Maybe you hear someone's experience on a podcast and a social media post when you meet them sometime at a rodeo, and you think to yourself, this is a person I could learn from because they have different experiences than I do. They have a different perspective than I do. They have a different background, different vision. All of these things, we talk about diversity and things of that nature in the world, all good things. Diversity of thought, diversity of attitude, people coming to the same conclusion or different conclusions for different reasons based on who they are, based on their background, based on other factors in their lives is diversity. Be open to that. Be excited about that. Engage that. And then the world will engage you in that way. The world will be excited about you. Other people will search you out. They will collaborate with you. They'll invite you to opportunities because you were open to them, because you weren't looking for someone who was 100% like you to be your friend, to be your social media follow, to be a business associate, to be a collaborator. Instead, you were looking for as much commonality as possible and embracing, enjoying, being excited by the differences you do have. Then being open to learning from each other. You learn from them, they learn from you. See how that works? See how that goes together? See how that feels better than deciding, don't want to listen to the guy talk about a rodeo. If you're one of those people that said, I don't want to listen to a guy talk about the gay rodeo. If you were closed off in the first 30 seconds of this conversation, but you're still here, congratulations. You've opened your mind up. You've made more possibility, more opportunity, more potential in your life by doing just that. Not saying this podcast is going to save the world. It may not make a major change in your life, but it did give you a moment to pause today. Think about your reaction. Think about how you approach these things. Think about how you answer these questions. Think about your willingness to put yourself out there in that way. And maybe you can find more ways to grow and develop and expand who you are as a person, your network, your opportunities, and ultimately your potential for success. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. Again, this week, I got to get out of here. I got to go to the rodeo, the gay rodeo. It's a rodeo. It's all the same to me. Thanks for listening. Subscribe so you never miss an episode. Leave a comment, leave a review, share with a friend. I really appreciate that. Follow and engage on social media, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and the Saturday Morning Hustle Facebook fan page. All the info, all the past episodes, all the Saturday Morning Hustle, Entrepreneur AF, Coffee and Donut flag is at SaturdayMorningHustle.com.